with EssentialHealthyLife.com, and I wanted to come to you today and share with you a way that we make homemade lotion at home with all natural products and, of course, my favorite essential oils that helps us a lot in the wintertime and actually throughout the entire year with very scaly, itchy, dry skin. And it's, like I said, it's 100% natural, it's good for you, and it's also pretty cost-effective to make. So if you're interested in that, then keep watching.
Okay guys, these are the supplies that we'll need to make our homemade lotion. We're going to need coconut oil, vitamin E oil, lavender essential oil, beeswax, and that is from our local bee farmer. So this is local beeswax actually, and we won't use a whole lot of that. We need some jelly jars that you can get just about anywhere where they sell canning supplies. A mixer there in the back because we're going to whip everything together, and not pictured. You'll need some larger bowls and either a double boiler, or since I don't have one, I'm going to show you how you can use just a large ball jar and a regular old pan to melt everything to make it all go together. Okay, so now we're on to step 2. After you've gathered everything together, you want to chop up your beeswax into smaller little bits like that, and you're going to let that melt. And what I did was I put it into a larger ball jar since I don't have a double boiler here at home, and I'm just going to set that into the water and let that boil. And once that is melted, I will add in coconut oil. Now, I did not measure this out. I sort of eyeball it. The more that you have, the more beeswax that you have, the thicker the lotion is going to be. And since I'm going to be spreading this out over into 4 separate containers, this is enough for all of those. And I will probably pour these into another, maybe half these, and put half into another ball jar so that they melt a little more quickly. This is the longest part of the process, other than letting it cool, is waiting for the beeswax to melt. You can buy these on Amazon with in the form of just little pellets, but this was local, and I don't mind the extra time to wait. So, but keep that in mind, and you're just gonna let that sit and keep an eye on it because it will get bubbly and loud. And then I'll show you the next part when we get there. Okay, so I did add some more jars, and I'm just, right now, all that I'm doing is melting the beeswax. Once that is done, we'll add our coconut oil, melt them together. Okay, now all that we're going to do, since all of the beeswax is melted, we're going to take our coconut oil and we're going to start spooning that in and let the beeswax and the coconut oil melt together. We have let the beeswax and the coconut oil completely melt on the stove in the jars that I showed you before, and you want to make sure that they are completely melted and combined together. Once they are, very carefully transfer them to your bowls, which is what you're seeing here, and we're going to let them cool. You can stick them in the refrigerator to help them cool faster, but a lot of times I'll just let it cool and I'll go find something to do for a little while, come back to it and check on it later. So we will see you at the next step. So as you can see, it is starting to change color. The liquid is inside of the bowl there, which is the beeswax and the coconut oil. And when it starts to cool, you will notice that it's going to change color. And I will actually take my finger and stick it in there just to see that it's cooling off and about what temperature it is. And it's been probably 45 minutes. So I am going to add my essential oil now and my vitamin E oil. And you always want to make sure that when you add your essential oils, you do not do it while the liquid is hot, because it will ruin all of the benefits of the oil. So make sure that you add that after it has cooled, and to make sure that you get all of the benefits from the oil. Okay, so I'm just going to add half a teaspoon of vitamin E oil. And I'm just going to pour that directly in there. And vitamin E oil is very, very good for the skin. Very moisturizing. Gonna make that a little bit creamier. And then I'm going to take Probably, I would say 10 to 15 drops of lavender oil, and I will add more as I go along, just for the smell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Obviously, the more you add, the more it's going to smell less like coconut oil and more like lavender oil. But lavender is great for the skin. It is wonderful for calming the skin, for any kind of skin irritation. So this is why I choose this essential oil. I love the smell, but it has a lot of benefits for the skin and the entire body actually. But this is really great when you have rough, dry, extremely dry patches of skin. This is great to put on. It's very soothing. So I'm going to go ahead and add 10 drops to my other 2 bowls. Okay, so then all we need to do is make sure that we stir the lavender oil and the vitamin E oil in there. And we're going to let it cool some more. And when it actually starts to become a solid, that's when we're going to get the mixer out and start whipping it together. And whipping the coconut oil is just going to make it light. Okay, so it is nice and cooled off. You can see that it has changed color, and you can start seeing around the corners where the consistency has changed. So what I'm going to do now is to get my hand mixer, just a regular everyday hand mixer like that, and I'm going to mix everything together. And as soon as I do that, it's going to whip up and get very creamy, and I'll just scrape the sides, whip it all together, and that's going to add some air into the coconut oil and beeswax and our essential oil that's in there, and it's going to make it a nice smooth consistency. So I'll show you when I get to that part. Okay, as you can see, I've whipped everything together, and now I'm going to grab a spoon and put it in the middle and then mix it one more time just to make sure it's good and fluffy. Okay, here's everything all whipped up, and I'm going to take it now and spoon it into the little jelly jars that I have. And there you have it in the container. Homemade, good for you lotion. And we will keep that, we'll actually keep it in our closet in our bathroom because it stays rather cool there. But if you want to keep it in the refrigerator, make sure to keep it a little bit more firm. You can do that as well. And we just put the top on here. Ta-da! Homemade lotion. And that will last us probably 3 to 4 months with 3 of us using it every day in our home. Hope you guys enjoyed.